On his son's wedding day, a man is humiliated by his bride's parents because of his profession as a cleaner. But no one could imagine the gift he brought to the newlyweds. Peter eagerly drove to his fiancée's house, where his wife's parents would meet his father for the first time. The night was quiet with a clear blue sky and twinkling stars like the look in his eyes as he imagined the two families meeting. For the young man, this dinner was another important step towards his wedding day, moment he and his lover Emily had long been looking forward to. Peter's father, Mr. Thomas, a middle-aged man with a gentle and humble expression, shared that joy. He rejoiced at the idea of seeing his son get married. "Dad will love them, they're really good people, even if they're a bit formal," Peter said. Emily always admired her future father-in-law for his simplicity and compassion. In contrast, her parents, always concerned with reputation and status, were eager to meet her future father-in-law but with very different expectations. The evening promised to be memorable but not for the reasons the couple expected. As soon as Thomas was introduced to the bride's parents, the atmosphere changed. The questions were polite at first, but then the conversation took a nasty turn. "What do you do?" the bride's father asked with curiosity. Without hesitation, the humble man answered proudly, "I'm a janitor at a university. I worked there for many years and enjoyed my job." Awkward silence enveloped the room. The couple exchanged disappointed looks, clearly dissatisfied with their future father-in-law's career. Emily tried to change the subject but to no avail. "Of course, we have nothing against you, Thomas. It's just that we hope for something better for our daughter," the bride's mother said with a contemptuous tone that made the man feel slighted. Peter, sensing his father's discomfort, intervened, "We love each other and that's the most important thing, right, Dad?" The bride's parents tried to calm the situation. "Of course, we love you too, Peter. We don't mean to say you're not good enough for Emily. We're just worried." The dinner, which was supposed to be a celebration, turned into a tense and uncomfortable event. Thomas feels lost, wondering if his existence is a barrier to his son's happiness. The evening ended earlier than expected. Father and son returned home in a silence full of unspoken emotions. On the way home, after a failed dinner, Peter apologized to his father for his wife's family's behavior. The father, with his usual modesty, smiled sadly and replied, "Don't worry, my child, what matters is your love for Emily. You married her, not her parents." Thomas has always been a man of simple principles. He raised his son alone after his wife died in childbirth. Despite difficulties, he always tried to make sure Peter had a dignified life, always working hard. His world revolves around his son, and he does everything to ensure that his child has at least the basics. Thanks to his father's dedication and support, Peter became a smart and determined young man. He receives a scholarship to a prestigious university, where he meets Emily, the daughter of a successful couple. Their relationship blossomed during their college years, working and saving money, dreaming of their wedding day. Emily is very humble, not interested in wealth or frivolous things. She just wants to live forever with her lover. When they decided on a wedding date, Thomas was as excited as his son. He never imagined that the meeting with the bride's parents would be filled with rudeness and unpleasant comments because of his profession. In the days that followed, Thomas still couldn't forget that dinner, couldn't forget their contemptuous eyes when he talked about his work. Another thing that made him sad was when they talked about wedding gifts. "And what are you planning to give the couple?" they asked, implying that any contribution from him was insignificant compared to what they could provide. The poor man lost sleep, thinking about what he could do for his son's wedding. He wanted to show his love and pride for Peter in a meaningful way. "Maybe I don't have material things to give," he thought, "but I do have something that money can't buy." Thomas has been a generous and creative person all his life. He reflected on the years he spent caring for the university, the hallways he swept, the rooms he cleaned, and the countless stories he witnessed on its walls. During his moments of contemplation, an idea formed in his mind, something unique that only he could give the couple and that he loved very much. "I hope they like it. It's very special to me," he muttered as he looked at the gift. His heart was filled with love. The night before the wedding, Thomas lay thinking about his whole life and how everything had turned out. His son was about to marry a beautiful woman and he fulfilled his dream of witnessing that wedding. Even though he was very happy, he still felt heavy because he couldn't give anything big. Hopefully it's good enough. When I have more money, I'll buy something more expensive, he whispered, sadly thinking about his financial limitations. The big day finally arrived and the wedding was held in an intimate and meaningful style, just as Peter and Emily wanted. It was supposed to be a small event with just a few close friends and parents, but when they arrived at the wedding venue, the couple was in for an unexpected surprise. The simple decorations they had chosen were transformed into a lavish and ostentatious ceremony. They quickly discovered that the girl's parents had intervened by hiring a wedding planning team to change everything. Instead of an intimate event, they wanted a grand ceremony. "This is our gift to you, a wedding worthy of a princess," they proudly announced. Emily, upset and disappointed, sees her dream of something simple and personal disappear before her eyes. "What right do you have to do that? This is my special day, not yours," she said angrily. However, the two ignored her disappointment, believing they were doing the best for their daughter. The groom noticed his lover was upset, tried to reassure her, "It's okay honey, it's still our day. What's important is that we're here together," he said, trying to make her let go of the discomfort and focus on the happiness of finally being together forever. Meanwhile, Thomas arrived at the wedding venue wearing the best suit he could find. As soon as he set foot in that place, he was fascinated by the decoration without knowing that it was the work of his wife's parents. His face lit up with happiness, eager to see his son get married. "Oh my God, it's so beautiful. My son must be jumping for joy," he thought as he looked around. However, his joy was quickly overshadowed by the arrogant behavior of the bride's parents. "Look, Mr. Thomas, we pay for all of this, isn't it perfect? And what did he bring for the couple? Hopefully not a cleaning kit," they scoffed, making guests laugh. The man felt humiliated, his cheeks red with shame. The lack of respect and sensitivity of those two people hurt him. But the janitor held his heart and did not let the joy of this day be ruined by ridicule. Thomas faced the petty couple's cutting words with humility and dignity. While he certainly felt embarrassed by that treatment, he was no stranger to situations where people tried to diminish his worth. Instead of bowing, he responded with an elegance that made everyone around him feel uncomfortable. "It's wonderful that you were able to give your daughter such a wonderful wedding. She is truly blessed," he said sincerely, showing off his true self and making some guests feel uncomfortable with their petty behavior. He then added that his gift would be given after the ceremony because it was something of great sentimental value and he wanted to keep the focus on the couple on their wedding day. This only angered Emily's parents, who wanted to humiliate him at all costs. The ceremony continued with the bride's parents still trying to outdo the janitor during the speeches. They mocked him again. "So, Mr. Thomas, where is your very precious gift? We are very curious." Faced with this situation, Peter intervened. "Don't worry, Dad, we will love whatever you bring. Your presence is our greatest gift." Emily also expressed her feelings. "I love you like a father, Thomas. Whatever you give us, we will be very happy." "Never mind my parents." The girl's words made her parents clearly uncomfortable because they could not accept that she also respected and loved her father-in-law. Thomas left for a moment and returned with a large gift package. "Everyone is curious." He approached the couple with his gift. The guests stared as he handed the couple a large, carefully wrapped painting. When Peter and Emily opened their gift, it reveals a picture of a forest, a peaceful and pleasant landscape that exudes tranquility. Not just a picture, but the petty couple quickly showed their contempt. "Just a picture? Oh my God, Thomas, are you serious?" However, what really surprised them was the signature in the corner of the painting, which they only noticed when they got closer. The girl's parents almost fell over when they recognized the artist's name, Henri Delacroix. A signature that transformed the painting from a simple photo into an extremely valuable and famous work of art. The janitor looked at the painting with pride and emotion and decided to speak up. "This painting has a very special meaning to me," he began, his voice shaking. "It has been passed down from generation to generation in my family. "I don't have much to give, but I want my son to have something that belongs to our family history." Peter was emotional, because he grew up knowing that that painting was the only thing his father had from his grandparents, the people who raised him. When Emily's parents heard Thomas's words, they quickly approached the painting with expressions of shock and disbelief. "Where did you get it from?" "You mean it's been in your family for generations?" they exclaimed, their voices shaking with excitement. Thomas nodded, still a bit confused as he didn't understand the significance of what was being revealed. "Yes, Delacroix is his name," he confirmed. They looked so confused, even the wealthy guests who knew about art history were shocked. It turns out that Henri Delacroix was a famous artist whose works, lost over the years, became extremely valuable and desirable. Rumor has it that Delacroix's descendants have never been found and his lost works are considered treasures in the art world. Emily's parents, who had just been mocking Thomas, are now faced with the unexpected discovery that the humble janitor is actually a descendant of one of the most famous artists in French history. This discovery surprised everyone, especially them, who felt extremely embarrassed about their previous behavior towards someone who was perhaps more important than they thought. The couple looked at each other, sharing a moment of understanding and admiration for Thomas. The painting, until then just a souvenir from his grandparents, has now become an extremely valuable historical and financial legacy. Emily's parents, stunned by the discovery, tried to regain their composure by apologizing to the janitor and being nice to him, knowing that they were talking to a very wealthy person. Surprise and embarrassment were evident on their faces as the room filled with whispers and speculation about this unexpected turn of events. After a surprising discovery at their wedding, Thomas and Peter continue to research their lineage and discover that they are actually descendants of Henri Delacroix, the famous French artist whose works have been lost. Meaning is that any surviving works are worth millions of dollars. At some point in Henry's lineage, this painting was kept and passed down to the next generation, but since the painting was painted in 1880, it is clear that after many years and with the admixture of later generations, which is further explained by Thomas's lack of accurate knowledge of its history. This discovery not only confirmed the painting's authenticity but also revealed that a very large fortune was in the name of Delacroix's descendants. Contrary to all expectations, father and son suddenly become heirs to an unimaginable fortune. Despite the sudden change in his financial situation, the man decided to keep his job as a janitor. His decision surprised many people, but for him, work has always been more than a source of income. It is a part of who he is, a reflection of his character and dedication. Humility, which defined him throughout his life, remained his greatest virtue even in the face of the fortune he had just received. In contrast, Emily's parents completely changed their attitude toward the janitor after the discovery. They tried to flatter him, perhaps hoping to get a share of the inheritance or simply embarrassed by their previous behavior. However, Thomas kept his distance, treating them politely but not getting caught up in their attempts to get closer. He focuses on his family, his son, daughter-in-law and grandchildren. Over time, the janitor and his daughter-in-law became close, developing an almost father-daughter relationship. Thomas was always there to support her in every important moment, showing the love and care he always had for Peter. This simple man's family grew with the arrival of many grandchildren, filling his life with joy and excitement. He loved spending time with them, telling them stories about his family's interesting life and the artistic talents of his ancestor Henri Delacroix. Each story is a life lesson, teaching them about humility, hard work, and the importance of maintaining integrity no matter the circumstances. He knew that even though he had everything, the money in his legacy, the real assets in his life were those who loved him and whom he loved with all his heart. The janitor proves that a person's greatness is not measured by their possessions but by their heart and depth of character. Because humility and integrity are treasures that no money can buy. If you liked this story, surely the next video that appears on your screen will move you. Don't forget to subscribe, like and activate the notification bell so you don't miss any upcoming touching videos. See you again in the next warm story.